Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is Cameo Man 2021, or also known as the Mayor of Magic. Look, it's a tough time out there in the world, and a lot of people are depressed, and a lot of people get down, and a lot of BS and bullcrap happens during the holidays. So I thought that I would take it upon myself and do a stream that shows you the top 5 reasons why people get depressed during the holidays and what to frickin' do about it. Because I know a lot of people are out there getting depressed and angry and upset, and they get all sorts of pissed off. And a lot of people out there wanted me to do a stream. I haven't done a stream in a really long time. So here is a stream for all the people who wanted to stream. Shout out to Hendrix. He said I should do a stream today. So Hendrix, this one is for you. And I'm gonna let a few people get in the chat before I go on. But yeah, a lot of people get depressed during the holidays. A lot of people get sad, and again, a lot of messed up stuff happens during the holidays. Like you get into fights, you get into arguments. Things go awry. So what I'm gonna do is I've broken it up into 5 things that get people depressed. And this isn't just for the holidays. This is for forever. These are the top 5 things that get people depressed. And I've got 5 things each, and then 5 things for those 5 things. So stick around, and we're going to cover them. So I'm going to go over the list, and I got the list right here. This is just right there, just like that. So I'm going to go over the list, and here are the top 5 reasons why people get depressed during the holiday. Number 1 reason is you're not doing anything. That's the number 1 reason why people get depressed. A lot of people, if they were doing something productive with the day, they wouldn't get down. They wouldn't get depressed. And that's what it comes down to a lot of times. A lot of people are just sitting in bed, just thinking all day, just thinking of nothing, and asking themselves bad questions. So number 2, the number 2 thing is you're not sleeping. All right. Now, if you're not sleeping, I got some bad news about this that I'll show you about later, but I've got 5 bits of good news that are going to counteract the bad news. And number 3 reason why people are depressed they are asking bad questions. Yeah. Tyler the Heckler says, sup, homie. Or Tyler the Hacker says, sup, homie. What's up, Tyler? So number 1 is you're not doing anything. Number 2 is you're not sleeping. Number 3 is you're asking bad questions. Number 4, and this is a big one, is you're listening to depressing music. Don't do that to yourself. Do not listen to depressing music. I did hear about the lack of sleep leading into depression. I personally need more myself. And D-Man says, hello, hope you're doing good. Well, I hope you're doing better, Tyler, and I hope you're doing better, D-Man. I've got stuff to counteract all this stuff, so just stick around. And number 5 is you're focusing on things you can't control. And I'm going to show you 5 things that you can't control and 5 things that you can control. All right. So these are the 5 little things. So we're going to get into the first point. You're not doing anything, and we're going to do things to do when you're bored. And these are just things that you can do every day. And number 1, going walking. I'm not at a bad level, just need more in general. Yeah, me too. So number 1 is go walking. Now, walking is excellent because number 1, when you're walking, nobody can get to you. Like say you got the phone ringing off the hook all day, your mom's telling you need to clean the house, and your girlfriend's, I want you to cook me dinner, stuff like that. When you go out walking, nobody can get to you. It's just you and nature. That's why, my phone would ring off the hook all the time. I'd have my mom telling me this, I had people telling me that. And I was just like, I just want to get away. And, what was a good time to just clear my head was just go for an hour walk around the park. And number 1, people can't get to you. And number 2, it's good for you. It's healthy. It gets you out there. Mercenaries Man says it was Randall Dawn all along. Hope everybody's been surviving the holidays. Me too. Yes. So number 2 is write or journal. I've actually been learning how to write blogs, and when I work on this vlog, I'm gonna post the link to my blog, which will show you these 5 things and 5 things what to do. So write a journal or just write. Like if you're a novelist, a good productive thing to do is just write something. Write a chapter of your novel, or write a short story, or write a poem, or write a haiku. Whatever it is. And then 2 is journal. And a little bit later, I'm going to cover 5 things that you can journal about, but I'll get to that later. So number 3 is learn. And under this, I have read a book or take an online course. Like reading is fundamental. You've got to read if you want to, especially if you want to be a writer. If you want to be a writer, reading is not fundamental. Reading is mandatory. You can't be a writer and not read. You can't do that. If you do, you will not be a good writer. So number 1, if you want to write, you've got to read. So definitely read a book or take a course. There is this one website. I can't praise it highly enough. It's called udemy.com. And you can get courses on there for like $9.99. And sometimes at certain times of the month, they do have several deals and bargains that you can take advantage of. Some courses that cost $129.99 on a certain day on udemy.com and like a holiday or like the beginning of the month. Some of those courses that are normally $129 are like $20 on there. I've taken several courses, and they have several accredited courses that you can take. So you can take the course in the comfort of your own home, and you can become an accredited NLP practitioner or an a life coach or whatever. So yeah, I would highly recommend taking a course on udemy.com. They're very cool. A lot of the courses are really well done. So number 4, and this is a big one for all you Christians out there. Number 4 is read the Bible. I told you to read some books. If you're a Christian and you are a religious Christian, you need to read the Bible, because, a lot of answers, God covers basically every topic. And, any topic he misses, he provides principles that apply to that topic. So, if you're a Christian, number 1, you want to read the Bible a lot. And then number 5 thing you can do is you can clean. Your outside space reflects what's going on inside here. So, if you want to get your mind right, you need to get your external environment right. And you need to clean. And cleaning is number 1, it's good exercise. That's free exercise. And then number 2, when you got everything clean and nice and neat and organized, then you are going to be, there's going to be less clutter up here, and there's going to be less clutter of, oh, maybe I should put that over there. And then you can focus on whatever you want to focus on. So I'll go over the things again. Things to do when you're bored. Number 1, go walking. 2, write or journal. 3, learn, which means read a book or take an online course. 4, read the Bible. And 5, clean. So the next thing that we're going to cover is what to do when you're not sleeping. Cleanliness is next to godliness. You are correct, Tyler. Yeah. So now this one has a little bit of bad news with it, but I've got 5 bits of good news. So number 1, the next thing on the list is you're not sleeping, which makes people really depressed. And the bad news is there's really nothing you can do about not sleeping. Because if you just sit in your bed and you try to force yourself to sleep, it's not going to work. Done it tons of times, doesn't work. And, I've tried tons of different medications and vitamins. I've tried Zoloft. I've tried, Ambien and all that. Doesn't work. They don't work. But I did read this book, and I sent this book to Fears. It's called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. And he had a very important point on insomnia that I will tell to you right freaking now. What Dale Carnegie said is, he said, if you can't sleep, don't try to fight it. Don't try to force yourself to sleep, because, typically you'll just, sit in bed and just waste time all day. If you cannot sleep, learn. And then if you spend your waking hours learning and your time you should be sleeping learning, well, then guess what? You have double the knowledge of everyone you know. So that is the big thing, is learn. And also, if you can't sleep, there's also tons of other things that you can do. I mean, and like another thing on sleep I want to tell you is, if you're having trouble sleeping and you're trying to sleep in the light, sleep in the dark. Try sleeping in the dark for like 15 to 20 minutes and try to get rid as much light as humanly possible, because a lot of people don't know this, but melatonin is the hormone that makes you sleep. Melatonin is a natural hormone that's made by the human body. But you know what triggers it? Darkness. Darkness triggers melatonin. So if and even a tiny bit of light can stop the production of melatonin. So you want your room to be as dark as humanly possible. If you've got an alarm clock and it has lights on it, like, throw a towel over it. If your TV has like a little red light that shows it's able to get power, or if you've got lights in the room, like maybe, get a piece of black electrical tape and cover the light. Any light, even a tiny, 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 tiny speck of light, will stop the production of melatonin in your body. And melatonin, again, is the hormone that makes you want to sleep, and darkness produces it. So that's why people, when they get sleepy, they get sleepy at night. That's the reason. So there you go. So number two thing that you can do if you're not number one thing you can do if you're not sleeping, learn. And you can listen to an audiobook. And, audible.com is a very cool website, but anything you can get on Audible, you can get on YouTube for free. There are tons of Audible audiobooks, and there's a ton of audiobooks that you can get on YouTube. You just type in What to Do to Stop Worrying audiobook, or The Magic of Thinking Big audiobook, or How to Win Friends and Influence People audiobook. And you can sit there, you can listen to the audiobook, and you can take notes, and you will be learning when everybody else is just taking a nap. The number two thing that you can do when you can't sleep is take a bath or take a shower. We all need to take time out to take care of ourselves. And not only is, taking a bath and a shower, it keeps you from getting smelly, and it's a necessary thing that you got to do every day. Number two, if you take a really hot shower or a really hot bath, it's really relaxing. Like warm water really relaxes the muscles, and you take like a nice hot bath, it really, calms you down. And again, taking a shower and taking a bath is also a lot like walking, in the fact where nobody can get to you. Like, people usually respect the time that you have in the bath or in the shower, and they're not, they don't say, hey, we need you to do this. You don't have to take any phone calls. You don't have to mess with anybody. So there you go. Number three thing you can do if you're not sleeping is you can listen to hypnosis or binaural beats. Tyler the Hacker says, I can't do audiobooks. I try to do them when driving or doing some random chore, and it always ends in me rewinding 10 seconds because I stop paying attention for a sec and losing my place in it. Okay, well, that's fair game. I can go with that. So number two is take a bath or shower. I'm sure you could do that. And then number three is listen to hypnosis or binaural beats. Hypnosis and binaural beats. They have hypnosis and binaural beats for everything, for motivation, for improved productivity, for, if, they got stuff for calming and stuff like that. Basically, they've got hypnosis and binaural beats for confidence and confidence. So anything you can think of, they got hypnosis and binaural beats for that. And binaural beats, here's one thing that you need to know. You need to have headphones that have left and right stereo in them. And you need to have the left on the left and the right on the right, because, those binaural beats, they're programmed, and then the right speaker has certain suggestions for the left side of your brain, and the left speaker has suggestions for the right side of the brain, because our brains are cross-wired. That's why if you're right-handed, that means you use your left hemisphere of your brain most. If you're left-handed, that means you use the right hemisphere of your brain most. That's why a lot of artists who use the right hemisphere are left-handed. So there you go. Number 4, another thing you can do, and this is if you have a lot of people have Amazon and Hulu and Disney Plus and all that. But number 4 is you can binge watch TV shows with good questions. All right. Now I'm going to go over some good questions later. But what I mean binge watch TV with good questions is, you can learn something every single time you watch a TV show or you watch a movie. Now, if you're watching something you could ask yourself, why do I like this? What do I find compelling about this? If I like this character, what's compelling about this character? What do I find compelling about this character? What can I learn? What is the message of this show? What is the main color scheme of the show? How can I use that in my own videos? What different angles are they getting? How many different angles are there? So no matter what you're watching, even if it's something you watched 1,000 times, you can learn something new. Like, for example, I was watching Terminator 2 over again, and I came across this one scene where John Connor calls his mom, and his mom is there chopping veggies. And John Connor finds out the mom is acting weird, and he's like, wow, what's going on here? And then the Terminator gets on the phone and is like, hey, how's Wolfie? And the mom goes, Wolfie's fine. And then the Terminator figures out that he's talking to another Terminator. And at the end of the scene, the T-1000 stabs the father through the head. But here's the thing about that scene. The thing about that scene is, before John calls, the T-1000 is making dinner, like she's making beef stew. And when the scene comes on, you see that she's got chopped veggies, she's got celery, she's got all this stuff, she's got a thing going to a boil. And it makes me wonder, how long had the Terminator been keeping up this ruse? And where did the Terminator hide the body? Did she stuff it in the back somewhere? And how long was the Terminator prepared to keep up this ruse? I mean, was the Terminator going to sit with John's father, eat dinner, and, just and then just do the dishes. And then at night, they were about to get, bump uglies, and it's the Terminator would be like, I have a cold, I do not want to do anything. How long was the Terminator prepared to keep up that ruse? Because there's a good chance that John might have went with the Terminator and never called. So how long would the Terminator have kept up the ruse of being John Connor's mother? That's what I want to know. And I think that would be a really cool subject for parody movie or something like that. But again, binge watch TV or binge watch movies with good questions. And then also, if you don't have any questions, if you don't have a movie or a TV show you like, you could ask why don't I like this? How can I keep from doing that in my own stuff? What's wrong with this? I think the implication was it happened recently, and we were going to keep it up till John got home and smoked him when we got home. Yeah, could have been. But yeah, so if you're watching a TV show or a movie you don't like, ask, why don't I like this? What's wrong with this? Like, are the shots bad? Is the editing slow? Is the pacing slow? Whatever. So, number 5, if you can't sleep, write out your goals for the next day. And I will cover in a later video, what, the proper way to set goals and what you need to look out for. But so if you can't sleep, those are my 5 suggestions. Listen to an audiobook, take a bath or a shower, listen to hypnosis or binaural beats. 4, binge watch your favorite TV show or movies. And 5, write out your goals and make a plan. So there we go. Now, let me see which number is this. Number 3. The number 3 reason why people are depressed is you're asking bad questions. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over 5 bad questions to ask yourself, and I'm going to go over 5 good questions to ask yourself. Okay, so strap yourself in. Walter White says, "What's up, Randy?" Oh, and everybody, I just wanted to show you this shirt I got. This shirt is from my main man, Fears. Fears got me this shirt so I could, take it to church. I'm probably, So it's a nice little dress shirt, and gray's one of my favorite colors too. I don't think he knew that, but yeah, Fears. Gray is one of my favorite colors. So you're asking bad questions is one of the reasons why you're depressed. Now, a lot of people, they sit and they stew and they ask circular questions, and you really want to look out for circular questions. And what circular questions are questions that bring you to the same conclusion over and over and over again. And I'll go over some of the bad questions right now. So number 1 bad question is, why did this happen to me? That's a bad question because number 1, even if you answer it, it probably won't help you. Like, I'm drowning. Why is this happening? Because people, if you don't know how to swim, you drown in water, like, again, the answer doesn't help you, but if you ask the right question, there are things that can help you. So why did this happen to me? Again, your mind is an answer-seeking machine. And here's the thing about your mind. If you ask your mind a question, your mind will come up with an answer, even if it doesn't know the answer and it doesn't know the correct answer. All right? So now, number 2 question, the number 2 bad question to ask yourself is, why isn't God doing anything? There's several reasons why this is a bad question. Number 1, you don't know what God is doing. Like, in the next 5 minutes, you could, Ed McMahon could knock on your door and say, "Hey, you just won the lottery." You don't know what God is doing behind the scenes. He might have something prepared for you tomorrow that could be the best thing that happened to you ever in your entire life. You don't know what God is doing. So just because you don't know what God is doing doesn't mean that God isn't doing anything. He might be setting you up for the biggest win of all frickin' time. You don't know what God's plan is. And you just don't know. Number 3, why does this always happen to me? That's another bad question. Because 1, it doesn't always happen to you. It might seem very frequent, but it does not always happen to you, whatever it is. It doesn't always happen. And, in NLP, we have a saying, every generalization is incorrect, even this one. So, number 4, why am I such an idiot? Of course, this is a bad question because, number 1, you're not an idiot. You have a capacity to learn just like everybody else does. And number 2, even if you were an idiot, you could learn and you can become smarter by learning, taking initiative, studying your subject really hard. Tony Robbins said mastery takes as long as you want it to take. If you're studying something for 1 hour a week, well, at the end of the month, you're only going to have 4 hours of study time. But if you study 5 days a week for 1 hour every day, you are going to have 20 times if you study 5 times a week, you're going to have 20 hours of learning and material. Whereas if you only did 1 time a week, you would only have 4. So that is quite a massive amount. And like, let's say, for example, you study like twice a day for 1 hour, 5 times a week. Well, then you got 40 hours worth of study time in there. That's a lot of study time, people. That is a lot of study time. So, and then number 5 question is why is he or she such a bitch? Number 1, whoever you're asking that of, no, you need to realize that we are 50% responsible of how people treat us and how people communicate with us. So if somebody you're dealing with is being a bitch or a pain in the ass, you need to take a look in the mirror and say, what am I doing to contribute to the situation? What am I doing to contribute to this person being angry or annoyed or frustrated with me? Because it's not always them. It takes 2 to tango. And, a lot of people aren't blameless, sweet little angels. Okay. Those are 5 bad questions that you can ask yourself. Now, here are 5 good questions that you can ask, and you can ask these every day, and I'm sure you can come up with a lot of answers. All right. Number 1 good question is, who can I help today? All right. Now, here's the thing. You can't be depressed when you're helping others, because depression, the main thing about depression is when you're focusing on yourself and your own problems. If you focus on other people and helping other people out, that's going to take the focus off you and put the focus on them, And when you're helping other people, not only are they going to feel good, but you're going to feel good about yourself. Okay, so there you go. Number 2 good question is, what am I grateful for? And this ties into the next question after that. But what am I grateful for? There's tons of things every day, all day that you can be grateful for. Number 1, the fact that you're just breathing air, you can be grateful for. Because if you're alive, that means you've still got a chance. Randy, we got to agree, though, some people are in a constant toxic mood. You're right. In most cases, it's a 2 to tango situation, but sometimes people are just a bad vibe. There are some people who I agree, Tyler Hacker, you are right. But a lot of the times, what we say triggers other people. I'd say it's like a 95.5 split. And I agree with that statistic. So the number 2 good question you can ask for yourself is, what am I grateful for? All right. Because there's tons of things. Like, I'm grateful that I got a nice bed to sleep in. I'm grateful that I got air conditioning. I'm grateful that I got a nice car. I'm grateful that I got a nice house to live in, that I got an awesome mom, that I got food in the fridge and money in my pocket. I'm grateful that I have internet. I'm grateful that I have YouTube. I'm grateful that I have a ton of books to read whenever I get bored. I'm grateful that I got my Udemy account. There's tons of things that everybody can be grateful for every day. And the more you think about what you're grateful for, the better you're going to feel. And again, even the smallest things that you can be grateful for, you want to put on that list. That's one of the things that you should journal about. Is like journal like 30 things you're grateful for every day. And if you can do it at the beginning of the day, hey, you know what? Even better. Number 3, why am I lucky? All right. Now, a lot of people out there don't think they're lucky. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. And this is true. Every person on this life, every single person in this world has it better than somebody else. All right. Like, if you're watching this on YouTube, you probably have a computer and you're probably watching it in the comfort of your own home. Those 3 things by itself means that you have it better than a lot of people in the world. A lot of people in third world countries live on less than $1 a day. I just ate 9 mozzarella sticks. So, if you think you have it bad, think of how bad that people in third world countries have it. Think of how bad that people who don't have a house, that have like 4 kids and they're living on the street. You have it so much better than those people. You are lucky. And if you don't think you're lucky, compare yourself to those who don't have anything, because a lot of people take a lot of things for granted. Like if you got a mom, you're lucky. If you got a dad, you're lucky. Like if you live in a house, you're lucky. If you had 3 square meals in the last 24 hours, you're lucky. If you got clothes on your back, you're lucky. If you're not in prison, you're lucky. There's tons of reasons why every one of us is lucky and is lucked out. There are a ton of people in the States who would kill for mozzarella sticks. Yeah, right? So there you go. Yeah. Because mozzarella sticks, ooh, man, those are good. But yeah, no matter how you are, no matter who you are, somebody always has it worse than you do. And when you're thinking about, oh man, this girl didn't say hi to me, my life sucks, or oh, I got to go to school, I don't like that, or I got to go to a job which I hate. Just remember how lucky you are. Compare yourself to those who are less fortunate. You'll start feeling better about your life. The number 4 good question that you can ask for is, what can I do today? What can I do today, right now, that furthers me towards my goals? Because no matter what your goal is, there's always something that you can do today. Like, let's say you want to take a trip to Puerto Rico. You know what? Today, right now, this instance, you can go on Google. You can search how much are tickets to Puerto Rico. What are the good hotels there? How much are the prices? And then like every day you could save up something, like, okay, I'm going to save $5 for the next 60 days. And at the end of 60 days, if that's a lot of money. If you save $5 a day for 60 days, you're going to get that trip to Puerto Rico. No matter who you are or where you are, there is something that you can do today to help you reach your goals. Like, let's say your goal is to, I'll give you one of my goals. I want to compete in the magic competition for, Daytona Beach. So you know what I do? Every day, I'll like go in my magic books and I'll learn 3 new tricks every day. Or I'll go on YouTube and I'll learn 3 tricks on YouTube today. Or learn 3 tricks on YouTube tomorrow. Let's say your goal is to lose 30 pounds. You know what? You can go out walking twice a day, or you could do 100 sit-ups right now, today. Or, you could go to the store and get some dumbbells and, like do 30 curls every day. No matter what your goal is, no matter who you are, where you are, whatever your goal is, there is always something that you can do right now, today. Like if your goal is to lose 30 pounds, like drink 10 glasses of water in the next 6 hours, drink 2 glasses every hour for the next 5 hours. There you go. You'll start losing water weight immediately. All right. And then number 5 is a big one, because number 5, every time you watch Dr. Phil will get, his guests, and he'll always ask the same things, like, what's the problem? What do you think you're like? He usually has more than 2 people on his show. He'll have like the mother and daughter. He'll usually have 2 people or more on his show. He'll have the mother and daughter, or the mother and father against the son, or he'll usually show 2 sides of the story, and they'll say, what are they doing wrong? What's your side of the story? But about midway through every episode, he asks this question, and because it's a really, really, really important question. And the question that he asks all the time is, what do you want? What do you want? Not what's the problem, not what's bugging you, not this, not that. Is like, what do you want? That is the number 1 problem solving question that you will ever find anywhere, is what do you want? because, and like a lot of his guests will answer, well, I just want to be happy, or, well, I just want to go a day without fighting. And he'll come up with strategies to figure out how to do that. Now, what I do is I practice this thing called the outcome frame. And the outcome frame basically is comprised of 4 questions. What do I want? How do I get it? What do I have? And what do I need? All right. So, like, let's say that you want to do your own TV show. What do I want? I want to do my own TV show. How do I get it? Well, I need to call a TV station and inquire, like how much it is to put on a show. Or, if you go to a public access station, like, what do I need to put on this show? And then, like, what do I have? I got a camera. I've got editing software. I've got my own talent. I've got my house, got my car. I got a friend who's willing to go out and shoot with me. What do I need? If you call up the station and ask them, what do I need? They'll give you a long list of everything you need. They'll be like, we need a DVD copy with some time code on it and blah, 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 whatsoever. So remember those questions. What do I want? How do I get it? What do I have? What do I need? And those are some good questions. So the questions, the bad questions are, why did this happen to me? Why isn't God doing anything? Why does this always happen to me? Why am I such an idiot? Why is he or she such a bitch? And then the 5 good questions are, who can I help today? What am I grateful for? Why am I lucky? What can I do today? And what do I want? So those last 5 questions are all really, really good questions to ask yourself. All right. And now we're on to number 4. All right. And this is a big one because my friend Fears has problems with this. And, I used to have a major problem with this. And number 4 reason that you're depressed is you're listening to depressing music. All right. And I've got 5 tips for that. All right. First tip is stop that. Don't listen to depressing music. My mom listens to songs that remind her of her beloved dead husband all the freaking time, and she's depressed most of the time, and she doesn't know why. And I'm like, Mom, you're listening to stuff that reminds you of your dead husband. He's long gone. He's not coming back. You're not going to see him until the next system of things when you get into heaven. Like, you're reminding yourself of someone who's dead, and that is what's depressing you. And, I used to have a girlfriend, and I used to think about her all the time. Now, again, Hootie and the Blowfish isn't depressing. But if it reminds you of somebody who's died, and it puts you in a bad mood, like Fear says it does, that counts as depressing. All 80 bubblegum pop. Now, again, it doesn't have to be depressing, but if it puts you in a bad mood, that counts as depressing you. Like, I mean, your song, like, if you're listening to the song "Celebrate Good Times," "Come On" by Kool and the Gang, that's a good song. That's a good party song. But if Kool and the Gang "Celebrate Good Time" reminds you of your dead girlfriend or your dead grandpa or your dead grandma, then, and if it puts you in a bad mood to where you're crying and you have to pull to the side of the road in order to stop crying, that counts as depressing music. All right. Doesn't matter if it's an upbeat song. If it puts you in a bad mood, you got to cut that shit out. That's number 1. Number 1 is stop that. That's number 1 on the list because Tyler Hacker says, oh, true. So yeah, number 1 thing, and I used to do this all the time. I had one of the most beautiful girlfriends of all time. I'm not going to tell you the song it was, but I used to listen to that song constantly. I used to sit in my room, listen to that song over and over and over again. I would be crying my eyes out. So pathetic. If I could find myself, I would slap myself and say, put some good music on. All right. And that's thing number 2 is, number 2, you want to find music that makes you want to party. All right. You want to find music that gets you up, that puts you in a good, productive mood, and that, makes you want to party and just, rock all night long. And when you find that music, you want lots of music like that. And number 3 is make that a CD or a playlist in your car. Because ever since I've been able to drive, my mom always said this for a long time. She said, Randy, when you're driving, you can listen to whatever music you want to. So I have a rule. I have outlawed sad music in the car. There's only 2 sad songs that I listen to. Lady Gaga's A Million Reasons. And then there's another one by Film Cow, which is In the Night. There was anyways, I only listen to 2 sad songs. I've got like 200 songs on my playlist, and they are all party songs. They're like get up and shake your booty songs. So you want to outlaw sad songs in your car, because if you're in your car, that means you're going somewhere. And if you're going somewhere, there's probably going to be people there. And if you go somewhere and there's people there and you're crying your eyes out, it's probably not going to go too well for you. So I have outlawed sad songs in the car. No sad songs in the car. Don't do it. So, and number 4, I wouldn't highly recommend this, but I will say something. You can pray while you drive. You don't have to listen to the radio. You can pray, and I pray a lot in the car. Like when I'm in the car, I'll switch off the radio and I'll say, hey, God, would you please? And when you pray to God, ask him for things. It's not tell him and you shall receive. It's ask for things and you shall receive. So, every time I'm on the way to somewhere, I switch the MP3 player off for a few minutes, and I'm like, God, would you please let this go well? Would you please let me have a good time? Would you please let this be the best day it possibly can be? And would you please help me make the right decision and do the right thing? And then I switch the music back on, and I thank God, and I, say in Jesus' name, amen. And then I turn the music back on. You don't always have to listen to music in the car. In fact, sometimes you might want to just be alone with your thoughts. You might just want to switch it off and just, have a relaxing drive and pay attention to everything around you and just listen, And then number 5, instead of listening to depressing music, you can think of how you can pleasantly surprise someone, or you can think of how you can make someone's day, because we all have people in our life who we love and who we want to cheer up and who we want to make feel better. And, it's always a good idea to think of others and think of Fears Vlog says, hey, Randy, sup? Hey, Fears, what's up going on, man? So, yeah, that's one thing that you can do is you can think of, how to cheer somebody up, how to surprise somebody. You can think of how to, make someone's day. And hey, Fears, wearing your shirt, man, wearing it in the vlog. It's pretty good. It's 3XL. I think it fits nicely. So those are the first 4 things. And the last thing on the list is the last reason why you're depressed is you're focusing on things you can't control. Now, for this last part here, I am going to show you 5 things that you can't control and 5 things that you can control. Just wanted to stop by. Yeah, dude, I'm glad you love the shirt, man. Yeah, it's a pretty good shirt. I like it. It's nice and comfortable. So now, the reason you don't want to focus on things you can't control is because if you focus on things you can't control, it's going to make you depressed. It's going to drive you nuts. It's going to drive you batty. It's going to drive you crazy. So here are a list of things you cannot control. Number 1, other people. Sometimes you can't control people. People are loose cannons. There's nothing you can do to stop them. You can't do anything about it. You can try to be nice to them. You can try to reason with them, but there are some people that, aren't going to listen to you no matter what you do or how much you say. Number 2 thing that you can't control, politicians. I know tons of people who waste oodles and oodles of time worrying about politicians are doing this, doing that, doing the other thing. As far as politics goes, there's really very little that you can do with politics. You can cast your vote, you can write them a letter, and you can go and attend a rally. But other than that, you don't really have much control over politicians at all or what they do. There's unless you dedicate your life to politics and become a senator or congressperson, there is very, 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 very little that you can do to change politics. I'm sorry. I mean, it's true. There's very little. I mean, you can vote for your president, vote for your senators, write them a letter, do a rally. But again, unless you devote your entire life to politics, there's very little you can do to alter, to change the world, and politics wise, So number 3 is, this is another thing you can't control. You can't control your neighbors. And, the best way to affect politics is to get invested in local politics, but that's very boring. Yeah, Tyler. And that's what I'm trying to say. You've got to be really, really, really involved in politics to make any sort of change. Got to go bottom up. That takes a long time. Yeah. So neighbors, another thing. Whenever me and Mom drive past our neighbor's house, my mom was like, "Oh, look what he's got in his yard. He's got the flag up. Oh, look, he's got Christmas tree lights in the thing." And it's like, you can't do anything about that. Number one, it's not my business to tell them what to put in their yard. And number two, it's a free country. They have the right to put whatever they want in their yard. And number three, I forgot what number 3 was, but I have no control over these people. So worrying about it and fussing about it and making a big deal about it, it's not going to solve anything. It's just going to piss you off. And, I get cut off a lot of times in traffic. I get cut off a lot. And I know a lot of people, my mom, my ex-friend Benny, a lot of people I drive with, you know what they do? They yell, they scream, they honk their horn, they flip them the bird, they yell and scream. But the thing is, that doesn't do anything. The most it does is piss them off. When I get cut off, I'm like, here's the questions that I ask myself. Did I crash? If I didn't crash, I'm good. I'm like, yeah, it was a minor inconvenience. They cut me off. Big deal. Who cares? People cutting me off does not bother me at all. But I know it bothers the shit out of some people. Some people, road rage is a thing. Like, if I didn't crash, I'm fine. Like, if somebody runs a red light, or if somebody cuts me off, I'm like, whatever. I don't say anything. I don't even mentally go, hey, what an asshole. It doesn't bother me. People cutting me off does not bother me at all. If I crashed, that would bother me. But, if somebody cuts me off, they're the asshole, not me. So, So the fourth thing that you can't control is the weather. You can't control the weather. I'm sorry. There's nothing you can do. There's some people who theorize that the government is controlling the weather with HARP and contrails and all this. There's nothing you can do about the weather. So you might as well not focus on it. If it's a rainy day, don't feel depressed. Just stay in and binge watch your favorite TV show, or, do 100 sit-ups or something. Do something that, something you can do inside that you can't do outside. So, and then the last thing is 5, and this is the times we live in, gas prices. You can't control gas prices. They're going to go up. They're going to go down. Just better not to think about it. Just conserve as much gas as you can and pay what you got to pay. But those are 5 things you can't control. All right. Now, here are 5 things that you definitely can control. And when you focus on what you can control, your field of control is going to get bigger and wider. Quattro says, this is helping me. Thanks a lot, Quattro. So here we go. So here are 5 things that you can control. Number 1, you can control the books you read. All right. And later on in the week or in the month, or later on next week or next month, I'm going to do over 10 books you definitely should read. But you can control the books you read, and it's completely up to you. I mean, unless you got like a textbook for school or something, then you have to read that. But there's tons of books. That is a plethora of books that you can read. There's books on every topic. There's books on how to not be depressed. There's books on conflict resolution. There's books on dealing with relationships. There's books on dating. There's books on, thinking big. There's books on making money. So that's number 1 thing that you can control, is what books you read. Number 2 thing that you can control is how polite you are. You can't control how others treat you, but you are in complete control of how you treat others, So, and, a lot of people say nice guys finish last. And I would say the race isn't over yet, because again, going back to that bad question that you shouldn't ask, like, why isn't God doing anything? Number 1, every time somebody slights you or is mean to you or does something messed up to you, every time you overlook that, you are getting treasure in heaven, my friend. And my mom was a NASCAR official for quite a while, and there is a maxim on the racing track. And the maxim is this: what goes around comes around. All right? Because you don't know that person that was mean to you, that you were nice to, you don't know what they're thinking. You don't know what's happening to them. Number 1, something really bad could be happening to their life, and they're just being mean that day because something bad happened to them, and you're catching the residual of it. That's called displaced anger. Like when somebody hears some bad news on the phone and they kick the dog, they're not really angry at the dog. The dog didn't do anything. They're angry at the person on the phone, but they can't take it out on the person on the phone because the person on the phone hung up. So what do? They take it out on somebody else. So a lot of people that are messed up to other people are really just pissed off because of something else in their lives, and they can't affect that other thing else in their lives, so they take it out on you. That's called displaced anger, and it's messed up. But again, number 2 thing you can control is how you treat other people. Because sometimes if people are messed up to you and you treat them well, they'll apologize. Man, I know plenty of people in real life with a ton of displaced anger. Yeah. You and I know who you're talking about, Fierce. Yeah. Okay. Number 3 thing you can affect and you can control is who you hang out with. All right. Now, unless you live, an hour or 2 hours away and you don't have the gas money to go see the person, you can totally control who you hang out with, and I'm talking about hanging out with in like a party or like a recreational function. I mean, like there are people that you won't be able to stop seeing. Like you won't be able to stop seeing your teacher or your boss or people you work with. I said my real life, LOL, not online life. Ha ha ha. Quattro Regina's losing it. But yeah, you can choose who you hang out with, in your recreational life. You don't have to call people every day. You don't have to hang out with somebody if you don't want to. If you want to just sit alone in your room for a while, you can just chill out and do whatever you want. But, nobody says, oh, you have to hang out with me, or you have to do this, or you have to do that. And I believe it was Jim Rohn who said you are the sum total of the 5 people you hang out with most. So you want to be careful how much you hang out with people and who you hang out with and how much time you devote to them, because you will end up being like the people you hang out with. And I am actually very, very choosy of my peer group. So, yeah. Number 4 thing you can change is how much you work out. You can control that, you know. You can control how many times you go to the gym. You can control how many times you go out exercising. You know, usually again, like walking and taking a bath. Usually, people don't mess with you when you exercise. You know, usually people, when you start exercising, people leave you alone. You know, like, I mean, if you tell your girlfriend or your boss or somebody, I got to go to the gym, they'll be like, oh, well, as long as you're not taking time off the work, have fun, do whatever you want to do. You know, you can go walking whenever you want, you know, take a bath, go to the gym. These are all things where people typically like leave you alone, you know. And the last thing, number 5, is whether you set goals or not and take action on your goals. All right. Whether you set goals or not is completely up to you. All right. And I would highly recommend that you set some goals. Typically, what I do is right before I go to bed or when I wake up in the morning, I set some goals that I want to accomplish in the day. And again, you can do it right before you go to bed at night. It's a good little way to brain dump and get stuff off your mind. But yeah, so like right before you go to bed or in the morning, write some goals out. And you know what? I only want to do an hour stream. We got 4 minutes left, so I'll go over the 5 things that you definitely need to do when you set goals. Is number 1, you need to focus on what you want. Number 2, you want to focus on how goals, not what goals. Now, a lot of people I know set goals like, oh, I want to be happy. Oh, I want to live the best life possible. Oh, I want to be the best person I can I want to be the best person I can be. Here's the thing about those goals. Those are all good goals, but those are vague goals, and vague goals never get done, and setting vague goals is pointless. Now, let's take the goals. I want to be happy. Well, what does that mean for you? What does I want to be happy mean for Tyler the Hacker? Or what does I mean what do I want to be happy, or what do I need to be happy for Quattro? Or what do I need to be happy for Fierce? Because what makes you happy is different from every person. Yeah, for every person. Like, you know, what makes Quattro happy might not make Tyler the Hacker happy. What makes Tyler the Hacker happy might not make Quattro happy. Like, for me, what would make me happy would be earning $20,000 a month for the rest of my life, and you know, living in a $5 million home with an indoor swimming pool and married to the woman of my dreams. So all those goals that I just said right there are clear, defined, measurable goals. You know, like I can start working up and I could, you know, get a job to start saving up that much money. You know, like I could, you know, find Mrs. Right. You know, I could go out to bars and church and wherever girls are, and I could look for Mrs. Right. But the goal of just like, I want to be the happiest I can possibly be, those aren't actionable goals. You can't take action to put stuff on them. $20K a month would make me happy, but hey, that's just me. Yeah, right. Right, Tyler the Hacker? Yeah. But, you know, everybody has different things that make them happy. You need to be specific when you set goals. You need to set how goals. Like your what goal is, I want to be happy. Now your how goal is, what can I do that will make me happy? You know? And then here are the top 3 things you need if you want to set goals. Number 1 is you need a deadline. All right. This can be arbitrary. You could set it yourself. Like, let's say, and this is an example I always use every time I talk about goals and deadlines, is let's say that you want to write a screenplay in 3 months. All right. 3 months is 90 days, roughly. So let's say you wanted to write a screenplay in 3 months and you wanted to write a 90-page screenplay. Well, 3 months is 90 days. So if you write a page every day, those are your milestones. If you write a page every day for the next 3 months, at the end of 3 months, you will have a 90-page screenplay. And that's because you set the deadline at 3 months. Now, let's shorten that timeline. Let's say that you want to write a 90-page screenplay in a month. Well, then, you would have to write 3 pages every day for the next 30 days. And then at the end of that 30 days, you would have, bam, a screenplay. So you need to figure out your deadline, because when you get your deadline, you'll figure out what your milestones need to be. And then the third thing, number 3, this is a big one, start date. You need to set a start date. It needs to be excruciatingly specific. Damn it, I'm saying Pacific again. That's something Fierce says. You're becoming like your peer group. But anyways, specifically, you need to be specific, because you need to be really specific about the start date. You need to know what day you want to start on. You need to know the time, and you need to know the date and the time. And you can even set it down to the second. And those are the 3 things you need if you want to complete your goals: a deadline, milestones, and a start date. Those are all crucial, very, very important. And again, another thing I already talked about is you need something that you can do today, because there's always something that you can do today, right now, no matter what your goal is. And then you need commitment. You need to take action. Do that first step. Especially if something will only take you 5 minutes to do. Like if your goal is to go to Puerto Rico and it'll only take you 5 minutes to get on booking.com and check out how much a hotel is, do that in the next 5 minutes. That's the 5-minute rule. Anything that'll only take you 5 minutes or less to do that as immediately and as soon as humanly possible. Do that as soon as possible. If it only takes you 5 minutes to do. You're out in the West Coast, the time would technically be Pacifically. Oh, very, very funny, Tyler the Hacker. That's hilarious. So yeah, anything that takes you 5 minutes to do it right now. Do it right freaking now, as soon as humanly possible. Do it so fast. So yeah. So there you go. So those are the 5 things that can make you depressed. And I've given you 5 examples and 5 solutions to everything. And that only took me 1 hour and 2 minutes. So we'll wrap this next 20 minutes up with questions from the audience. I'll take questions from the audience if you have anything. And so I just want to shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Tyler the Hacker. Shout out to Quattro. Shout out to Fierce Vlogs. Shout out to Mercenary Man. Shout out to Walter White. Shout out to D-Man. And if I missed any, let me know in the chat. Shout out to StreamYard. StreamYard's a cool guy. He's always in the chat. He always likes to start off the first comment. He comments the same thing every chat, but it's okay. I don't mind. So yeah. So those are the 5 things that can make you depressed, and 5 solutions to each one of those. Now I'm going to be doing another 5 things video soon. And, I've been learning how to blog. I'll drop my blog link in the chat, and where I'll be going over 5 more things that can make you depressed and 5 more solutions to every one of those. Another crucial suggestion, and I mentioned this before, is to just learn. No matter who you are or where you are, you can always learn. You can always learn more. God has blessed us with an infinite amount of input and an infinite amount of books and stuff. And in the Bible, it says, to books, there will be no end. There will be books forever, here to eternity, because, the human mind can only absorb so much. And, when we get our new heavenly bodies, we're going to have perfect bodies, and we're going to be able to retain everything we read. But God has made it so that we will be learning from here to the end of time. You know, there's never going to be a moment in life where we say, "Oh, you know what? I've learned everything I need to learn. I don't need to learn anything more." Learning is like taking baths. Learning is like working out. As long as you're alive, you need to do it. Like every day you need to take a bath. Every day you need to work out. Every day you need to be learning something. And good stream. Looking forward to the next 5 things stream. Yeah. So one thing that I've been learning, Tyler, is I've been learning how to write blogs with a B. And one of the things about the blogs, one of the books that I read said, you know what, you can take 5 things and you can do 5 things for those 5 things. So a lot of the 5 things that I've talked about today, I'm going to be doing 5 things about those 5 things and those 5 things about those 5 things. So, you can always drill it down, because if one of your 5 things is like you need to read more books, well, then you could do like 5 books that you need to read. And then like, let's say like one of the 5 books is, how to win friends and influence people. I could go 5 tips on how to win friends and influence people, so you could drill it down, like those 5 things beget these 5 things, beget these 5 things. So that's what a lot of my streams will be covering and stuff. So Tyler, Quattro, Fears, Mercenary, D-Man, if y'all got any comments or questions, drop them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to clock out at 1 hour, 13 minutes. But if y'all got any questions, let me know. And again, I will try to get my blog link in the description. It's not on there right now. Don't look for it right now. I've actually got a little thumbnail for this stream, and I'm going to be adding my blog in there so you can check it out and take a look at it. And I'm going to be blogging quite regularly, not vlogging, not video blogging, but blogging stuff. Pixel Protocol says, much love to the Randy Man. The Randy Man. The Randy Man. Yep. Shout out to Pixel Protocol. Thank you for coming in. And again, if y'all have any questions about being depressed and what I think you should do to eliminate that, drop it in the chat. But yeah, so I really enjoyed doing this 5 things thing, and I shall be doing more for anyone who wants. Fear says, sup, Pixel, you got to bring it up again. There is that new Breen movie soonish. So I'll let you know. I'll tell you, I'll tell Tyler, I'll tell Fears and Pixel about the update. So, number one, Fear, hey, Pixel, okay. So, the update on the computer. I don't get my money from Fiverr until 2 or 3 weeks from now. I've got $300 coming in. I've got $697. So I'm going to go with like a Surface Pro. And the Surface Pro is about $599, and it's going to be a little bit more with shipping and all that. But yeah, I'm going to get the Surface Pro in about I'm getting my money in 2 weeks, so the Surface Pro is probably going to take like a week or so to get there. So you can expect me to start churning out new video content like cartoons and YouTube videos probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks. That's about the timetable. So when I get the new computer, it'll be, top of the line. I'll be able to put out stuff in 2 seconds. So yeah, in about 3 or 4 weeks is when you should be expecting the new content from me. And I'll do an unboxing and I'll show it off, and I'll show you everybody what I can do on it. So expect the new content besides the live streams to be coming in about 3 to 4 weeks. So check it out. So yeah. Is there any other questions? Let her rip in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to go in 4 minutes. So, yeah. So I'm just going to take a little sipperoonie of some Coke here. I've been trying to work on not sipping my Coke really loud. So let's see if I can do it. Very nice. Very nice. Yay. Fears asks, why are you so awesome, Randy? You're the man. Why am I so awesome? Let me count the ways. My number one reason why I'm so awesome, I learn. I remember there was this female speaker that came to our school one time when I lived in Las Vegas. The school was called El Dorado High, and there's this one speaker, and one of the students asked her, "What makes you think you know so much?" And the speaker said to the student, she said, "I don't know everything, but I know enough. And what I don't know, I know where to look up and I know where to find it." That's number one. Mahmood says, "Hey, Randy, and advice how to not dox people by each other." Oh, Mahmood, you're killing me, man. You're killing me. You're killing me, Mahmood. You're killing me, man. But yeah, that's the number one thing. Is like, I know enough to get by in life, and what I don't know, I know where to go and I know where to figure it out. So there you go. So yeah, you're killing me. So yeah, number one piece of advice I would give to everybody: learn. Always be learning. ABL. Always be learning. And for you magicians out there, I would say, I would tell you the ABC rule is always bring cards. Always bring cards. That's what I do in my personal life. And this year, magic has been really, really good to me. I've made about $2,000 in tips doing magic. No joke. Mahmood. You killing me, Mahmood. You killing me, man. I'm not going to read that, but that's hilarious. So, yep. Call me when you done laters. You're a good friend, Randy, and you are a good friend, Fears. 2K in tips is nice. Yeah. And that's on top of what I usually get. Yep. 2K in tips, not bad. So yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna be done here. We're all done here now. Thank you. We're all fine. How are you? So yeah, my name's Randy Brown for Cameo Man 2021 and the Mayor of Magic. And remember, I just do what magicians do because entertaining me is entertaining you.